I get to be a victim now.
You're the oppressor. You're the colonizer. How are you the
Listen,
victim?
first of all, we went into slavery for our own doing.
This is me colonized. So I'm an aggressor.
Why are we victims?
Listen, we went into slavery for our own discretion.
You did it.
We went into slavery.
Way longer.
We are those people. 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 Okay, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. But we went into slavery. We're not victims.
Countries all across the world had slavery. It wasn't just the U.S.
But you're going into slavery.
Nobody
You're going into slavery. Oh, you're going into slavery. You're going into slavery.
Everybody.
Do you celebrate 4th of July?
You're going into slavery.
Karen, do you celebrate 4th of July?
Of course I celebrate. And I'm not going to go into it. But 4th of July,
We got another scripture for you from the Bible that you're reading.
Celebrating America.
Wait, do you celebrate 4th of July?
Like I just said, I celebrate.
Yes or no, Karen?
Yay or nay?
You celebrate 4th of July because what happened in 1776 directly affects you to this day, right?
Signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah, you are now free from a British colony, and you're no longer being oppressed by the British. You're no longer being tossed in jail without trial. That what happened in 1776.
Are you going to listen
for a second. What happened in 1776 directly affects you to this day, to the point on the 4th of July, you barbecue, you light fireworks, you get drinks, and you celebrate. Likewise, what happened in 1776 directly affects us to this day. It had a positive effect on you, it has a negative effect on us. So don't try to make it seem like that was such a long time ago and effects is irrelevant. You learn about the Grecians that was over 3,000 years ago.
This is a butterfly effect argument. It's completely.
It's a what kind of argument?
Butterfly effect argument. Yes,
See,
something in the
making
past.
something up.
No, I'm
It's
still.
logical.
This is a theological.
Is it not logical?
I know.
Is it not logical? Do you know what Alexander the Great is?
Yes.
He was a Grecian, right?
I actually don't know much about him,
But he was a Greek, right?
Okay.
And you learn about him in school. And the way he did was over 3,000 years ago. You learned about the Romans that was over 2,000 years ago.
Okay, so
right?
anything in
So how
history.
can you tell us what happened 200 years ago? It is a long time ago and doesn't affect us.
I'm not saying it doesn't affect you. No one's saying it doesn't affect you.
You implied that it did because you said it was a long time ago.
No, I'm saying you call yourself.
What about the
What makes us a victim?
Because of the fact that you hate America, you're acting like America is racist towards you.
It is.
Hey, Karen, what about
And we already explained to you, we don't get the same treatment you're gonna get when you walk down the street. Really?
I believe she's serious.
Yeah, Karen. She said that when she walks down the street and if something happens, we're gonna get treated equally.
Yeah.
You know better than that.
And that's white
losing
privilege
battle
right
right now.
Ignorant. You have the right to be ignorant.
And you got the audacity to call us stupid? Really?
Oblivious. What's the reality?
You served in the military, you said, right?
Apply the same for everybody.
It does not. You got people in Florida that stole 2 packs of goddamn candy and went to jail for life. You got people in Massachusetts.
Pull up the story of that just stealing candy.
No, we pull up a more recent story.
I'll pull it up.
There was a young man who was 17 years old. There was a young man who was 17 years old that went across state lines with a rifle and murdered people.
Oh my goodness! Don't even get me started on Kyle Rittenhouse. Kyle Rittenhouse.
And then you have people. Are you gonna? You said bring up stories.
First of all, he never brought the gun across there.
It doesn't matter.
How do you
Did
know?
he murder people?
How do you
Because I
know?
know the story
Did he
so
murder?
well.
How do you know?
No, let me tell
Hold
you.
on. Did he murder
Can I tell
anybody?
you the exact
Did he murder anyone?
No, he acted in self-defense.
Did he murder? The reason is irrelevant. Did he murder anyone?
He acted in self-defense.
Okay, yes. Did he murder anybody?
A pedophile died due to his actions.
Did he murder anybody?
A pedophile.
Who he killed doesn't matter. Did he murder someone?
No, I
Murder
think-
is against the law no matter what the orientation of the person
Okay,
is.
as someone in law school,
Murder
I can tell you
is against the law.
that you can
Murder.
You can
Wow.
act in self-defense.
And
Wait,
murder is against
so
the
you're in
law.
law school, but you don't know that in the Wisconsin law, how old you got to be to have a gun?
Okay, he was 17 years old.
So he was
acting-
illegally carrying a firearm,
let
first
me-
and foremost,
Yeah.
right?
Let me
You
tell you. Can I
you
tell
don't want to address the
You don't
fact
wanna let me
that he
speak.
got treated differently and black people get treated differently every single day.
Every
single day.
What about
That's a fact. It doesn't matter what if he was rich or
I'm gonna tell
not.
a
They
story.
get treated differently.
I'm going to tell a story.
It's a fact.
Shut up.
No, I'm not going to shut up. This is not your stage. You came over here. You don't run the show. You got to get used to that. You got to get used to that. This is what we said.
Oh my God, you're painful.
When we talked about white privilege, this is what we were talking about. This is no. I don't want to hear the story. You asked me to bring up a story. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
The horn's about to come out.
You know, black people act in self-defense by running from the police and they get killed. In the back. That's self-defense. That's a fact.
Hello.
You know what that?
Hey, yo, hold on. Listen. Hold on. When this dude shot these people, right? He was running towards the police officers, and all the people were saying he just shot somebody. He shot somebody.
The
first thing is, and then what happened?
You know all the stories, huh?
Let me tell you the full story. What Jacob Blake had recently been shot in the back 7 times after he was reaching for a knife.
I'm not talking about that guy.
Of course, he was. Come on, Karen. He was reaching for a knife. Of course, these devils gonna say he was reaching for a knife to justify the shooting. He was reaching for a knife. He got his kids in the car. You mean to tell me he got his 3 kids in the car? He got his 3 kids in the car. He's gonna go grab a knife to stab a police officer with guns? Come on, get out of here, bro. Get out of here. You're out of here. You got the audacity.
He was a child. He got gunned up.
He took the orange tip out.
So you shoot a kid?
In the head, though.
Why didn't they shoot? So why didn't they shoot the black kid? But why didn't they shoot the white
I've
kid?
never seen this in real life. This is amazing. Man.
Yeah.
I see this on the news. You see it on the news and you hear about Karen. This is amazing.
It's been manifested.
You really believe that we are treated the same?
Will you let me speak?
I just shot somebody. That's his intent.
You really
I'm
believe
gonna talk. I'm gonna hold.
You honestly believe it? You honestly
It's
believe
okay.
it?
I'm gonna hand it to you.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Next thing you know, they're calling the police and say I took your earbud. I can't handle it. I don't want to talk about
Right, then let
nothing.
me talk.
No, we're gonna love talking. I
Kyle
don't care about
Rittenhouse
Kyle.
didn't
I don't care. What about the young white man who killed those 9 people in the church? What happened to him?
Dylan Wolf.
What happened to him? How was he treated?
He locked away.
How was he treated? He went to prison, right? But did he die?
He didn't do anything. I don't think he shot him.
What about Zimmerman? What about Judge Zimmerman?
What about the man who killed the guy in Portland and he's now dead by the police? He was white and shot by the
An
police.
outlier.
we got one.
God bless the outlier.
That's not an outlier.
got one.
Yes, it is an outlier.
If you look at statistical
Right,
data,
right.
that is
That
not
white
an
people,
outlier.
white people get killed by police more than black people, right? But here's a caveat to the data.
Go ahead.
It's not determined per capita. There's more white people in America than there are so-called black people. That's a fact. So if you determine it per capita, black people enormously get killed more than white people. That's a fact by your data. By your data that you asked for. It's never determined by per capita. The sites that they use, the systems that they use in the FBI to pull the data, they don't use every case. They don't use every case. Some cases don't get used. So we know about the guy who gets the knee on his neck. We know about him. But what about the guy Derek from down the street that we didn't hear about?
So George Floyd
Those cases happen far more than the cases that get publicized on your media.
Right, and the
And
only
that's
why
a fact.
and the only why it gets publicized because now you got these mobile phones and
Right.
everybody's catching it.
Right.
10 years, 12, 13 years ago,
Right.
you know how many people were getting killed?
Question. Have any of you guys heard of excitement?
Yeah, actually,
And
absolutely.
none of you guys think that has
So this is a great question, right? That's a great point. What is it about our media that would make us report a story about black people getting killed? Because what is it?
Excited delirium is when you're on drugs and you act in a way so that when people see you,
Right.
you act
So here's the
and
thing.
then
Here's the thing.
then
So
you
this
die
is
of
what's the
asphyxiation.
girl you named earlier? Candace Owens?
Yeah.
This is my problem with her. Because this is what she creates. This is what she creates. We should if it's the case where somebody is on drugs, are we saying that they're no longer human? Their condition within humanity shouldn't remove their humanity. If I'm on drugs, something happened to me that put me on drugs, right? If I'm in poverty, I'm gonna be a drug user. I'm gonna be a killer. I'm gonna be a thief because I grew up in poverty, and those are the symptoms of those things. And that's all I know. Does that mean I'm not human anymore? Does that mean that my life now, he's a pedophile got killed? That doesn't matter. We're talking about human life. Human life gets taken, and we're saying the first thing we look up is what type of person he was. Who cares? Right is right and wrong is wrong.
Karen.
Bye, Karen. Adios, Karen.
Karen, don't go.
Listen. Right is right and wrong is wrong. We talk about the character of the person. The guy was reaching for a knife. There's stories in this country where people actually murdered somebody, and we know that there's no speculation. There's no maybe they did it or maybe they didn't. We know that they killed somebody and gave it with the dignity of a human being. That's what we're talking about. We're not doing, and we kept mentioning, now that we can speak and get a word out edgewise, it's not about the Democratic Party and the American Party. That's like mentioning two different parts of a toilet. The flusher and the little ball that's in the back of the toilet. It's two different parts of the same system. The problem is not Democratic or Republican. The problem is the system as a whole. That's what Democrats and Republicans is what's pushed out there for the world to see, so we can make a decision. But the problem is the whole entire system is flawed. The system is flawed. There are still rules and laws and regulations. Do you know, just in 2005, this is 15 years ago, just in 2005, the right for so-called black people to vote had just been renewed. This is 2005. Now, you mean to tell me that what if they didn't decide to renew it? Now I can't vote? And you mean to tell me that the treatment is the same?
2025, it's supposed to be renewed.
And what about the 3/5 compromise, right? That's not something that's been dissolved. Do you know where that came from? Because the slave owners wanted to use their slaves as population increase so they can have more people in the House of Representatives, so they can have more votes in the electoral college. These things still affect us today. This is not a old thing. Slavery only ended.
It has not ended. It has not ended.
I'm talking about the political part of it, where now we don't have any freedom to walk around. And somebody made the point.
Now, I'm going to tell you why it's not ended. If you get up the 13th Amendment,
right,
and you read the 13th Amendment, everyone who is in jail today is a slave.
Great point. Great point. Great point.
And how many of the people, these people on the side, are in jail? Right. She mentioned about the individual
That's not ended.
cop shooter on drugs. Right. During the Rodney King period, they said any black person on PCP is deemed to be a danger to the officer. So therefore, they can use lethal force. You see? But once again, this is all our people have grown up to know as drugs. You know, and not to mention, a man doesn't have to be on PCP to have adrenaline flowing through him. Right. You see? Right. How many men got killed because they had, we got strong spirits in us. Yeah. But according to the cops, he was on some kind of drug. Then the toxicology comes back, he wasn't on drugs. You know, but this devil wants to justify that every black person in America has some type of ill will about them or flaw about them that justifies them getting shot and killed by the police, man.
We're talking about the treatment. We're talking about the treatment of the person, not what is in the context of the story, right? Because whether or not somebody's on drugs or not, right? Because you had this one kid who was actually in the church mulling over people. Oh yeah. Was he on drugs? No, he wasn't on drugs, but he actually killed somebody. Me being on drugs, what if I'm just high as a kite and I'm just walking around, I'm not hurting anybody, you can use lethal force on me? This is what we're talking about. We're talking about being fair, being equitable, right? That's the problem with America. America is not fair. And she's a perfect example of it. She wanted to rule the conversation. You see, she started throwing a temper tantrum like a little kid. She wants to run the conversation. She wants to rule what's going on in this world, but you can't. It's over. The time for so-called white